So here's step number 7 for the Drunken boards. What we're looking for here is to see if there's any gaps. There's a gap right there. So I'm going to fill that in with a little bit of glue, and I'm going to make my own wood putty. So I'm just using the Tight Bond glue. I saved some of the dust particles from the sander and the belt, bandsaw, and I'll mix that in with the glue. So put a small amount of glue. You're not going to need much. So about that much. Put on some sawdust. Take your toothpick. Mix it up. And you're looking for a wood putty paste of some sort. And what you end up doing here, the reason that we've used glue and added sawdust to it is so that it'll be the same color as the wood, and it will also accept either varnish, oil, whatever, stain. It'll accept it all the same. Just work that into the hole, that gap, and then we'll sand it off. So here's the sander. So that filled the hole. That hole is full. So we're good with that. Next thing, palm grip sander. I'm using a 220 grit with a hole system on it so it vacuums it up. So that is all sanded nice and smooth. We'll do some hand sanding on it just to make sure that it's all good. Part of the hand sanding allows you to actually feel the wood, and sometimes you can see stuff. Other times you can't see it, but you can feel it. So main thing is to hand sand your edges. And this is 220 grit, and it's right off of here. When I use this disc for sanding, I end up using all of this sandpaper, but I don't ever use the center. So when I peel this off, I fold it in half, and now I have sandpaper for hand sanding. So this sandpaper is about 30 cents a disc. For that little piece of, it's 30 cents each. I also have found that this particular sandpaper, for me, is the best on the market. It's worth the 30 cents a sheet. Does a nice job. So that's all hand sanded, just so you can see what the sandpaper is. That's the sandpaper. It's a 220 grit, red. It's from Canada. Carborundum I think is what it's called. It's an aluminum resin paper made in Canada. Good stuff. So once we've done our sanding, I like to use a 320 piece of sandpaper. And if I want it smoother, I can just rub it on here and make it even finer grit. But this hand sanding, you can feel the difference. It makes the difference when you put the oil on. If you've hand sanded with a 320 grit, and this is a worn down piece of sandpaper, so it may actually be, 420 or 600 grit, but it's pretty fine. What you're looking for is a soft as a baby's bottom. So that's ready to have the feet put on and then oil, which will be the last step.